It's Friday, March 23rd, and you're listening to Porch Talk.
Porch Talk. Porch Talk. Porch Talk. Porch Talk.
All right, let's go. It's Friday. It's time to talk SEC football. Glad you all joined us. And you guys already know who the sponsor is, and you know you want to start catching fish. So say it with me. Skirt Chaser Outfitters. Stop fishing, start catching.
Yeah, love the guys at Skirt Chaser Outfitters. Also love Grayson Foster and the music he's putting out. He did the Porch Talk theme, but he has his own website and Spotify channel. Y'all check him out and give him some love. He's a great artist, and glad he's
he really is.
on our team with Front Porch Football and with Porch Talk. All right, Today we are starting our spring football preview. I'm pumped. It's Friday. Let's do it. Every week, we will be doing a different school. Today, we're starting it off with the LSU Tigers. Brennan, start things off for these Bayou Bengals.
All right, well, like you said, I am pumped as well, and we're going to dive right into this. So heading into these previews, we're going to be discussing the best position groups that need to be worked on, and we will also close with some fiery final thoughts.
I love it.
And
Let's do
Chris,
it, baby.
I cannot wait for it, man.
Yeah, baby.
All right, so here we go. First, where the Tigers are the strongest. So they had a close scrimmage this past week, and after listening to several interviews and a couple of players talking, I've got a couple takeaways. And my biggest takeaway is that this Tiger defense could be one of the best in the SEC.
Whoa.
And I know, it's a hot take, but I know that they lost some big names on the defensive side, like Arden Key, some big defensive tackles like Greg Gilmore and Christian. I can never say his name. Christian LeCoucher, the coacher, and then some DBs like Ed Paris and Kevin Toiler. And I know these are some big time starters and some big time playmakers. So I can confidently say that. So here's how I'm going to say that their defense is actually going to be their biggest strength, even though they lost these guys.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. What makes you say that these LSU Tigers, they're losing Arden Key, losing Greg Gilmore, losing Coacher, losing Paris, losing Tolliver? What makes these guys one of the best defenses in the SEC heading in this spring?
All right, well, I got two reasons here. First, I don't think anything on the offensive side is impressive at all, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm not going to jump the gun here. All right, but most importantly is number two. I believe that although they lost some big-time names, LSU was forced to play a lot of freshmen because they were pretty thin.
Right.
They had the big-time names, but playing on defense, especially in the SEC, you cannot be consistently playing these guys every single down. So they ended up having to play a lot of freshmen. And I was reading an article on SEC Country by Nick Suss, and he made a strong argument that I agree with. And he argued that LSU has more experienced players with these now sophomores, and, man, they are extremely talented.
Yeah.
And I'm going to circle a name, and I'm going to butcher his name because he's from Hawaii. But it's Braden Fihoko, I think. Is that his name?
I have no
he's no idea.
Just go ahead with your argument.
He's a defensive lineman, and this guy, you can take it to the bank, ladies and gentlemen, this defensive lineman is going to be a tank. After sitting out last season because he transferred from Texas Tech, Fihoko is a kraken that is waiting to be released. I think this guy's going to be a beast, and I really think that he's going to be the anchor that this defensive line really needs after losing some big-time names.
I totally see where you're coming from. I think the defense will be a solid, like they always are. LSU always has, no matter who they lose, they always have great defenders come and fill those spots, and they always have a solid defense. I'm going to go a different route for my biggest strength. I'm going to go with the wide receiver core. Yes, really? Like the defense, they lost some key players in Russell Gage and DJ Shark. But this position group has so much talent coming back, much like the defense. The biggest problem is they need a quarterback, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Look at these recruiting classes, starting with 2016. Drake Davis, Steven Sullivan, D. Anderson, all these guys were top 200 recruits. Go to 2017. Jacoby Stevens was a 5-star prospect. He was top 20 in the nation. He was a dual. He could play both sides of the ball. Safety, receiver. He's going to be playing receiver for the rest of his college career, or at least that's what it looks like. Then this year, you got Terrace Marshall, top 15 recruit nationally, 5-star prospect. You got Jamar Chase, big-time prospect. They have the talent. But the sad thing is about the wide receiver spot is you're dependent on the quarterback position the offensive line to give the quarterback time, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to have solid running backs to have a rushing attack
Mm-hmm.
that can keep these safeties honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, or to bring the safeties in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll say this: there's a lot of question marks through those other position groups. You got solid players at
Yeah.
wide receiver, but these other position groups
And
have some question marks.
and I'll tell you this too. Having a solid receiving core doesn't mean jack squat to me.
Yeah.
Because offense, I'm looking at quarterback, then I'm looking at my offensive line, then I'm looking at a good running back, and then I'm looking at my receivers. I think the receivers are the bottom of my priority list. If I'm a head coach and I'm going out to recruit, I'm looking for, like I said, quarterback, offensive line, running back before I look at solid receivers. So then this is what we're gonna transition to here. What the Tigers need to work on. And for me, it's score some damn points. During this close scrimmage, we learned that the offense didn't score a single point during 60 plays, which is about the same number of the plays that you're going to get during a game. And like you say, Chris, the receiving core is phenomenal. But if they can't catch the ball if they don't have anyone to throw it to them. If the ball's not getting to them, then they're not going to be able to catch it. That's facts. And forget just playing catch. Give me Darius Guice or Leonard Fournette, which would keep the defense honest. But losing guys in the draft hurts the Tigers' offense more than anything. Last year they were bailed out, and 2 years ago they were even bailed out by a phenomenal running game, and they had a chance to develop their quarterback game because they had such solid running backs. But now that they have to go back to the drawing board in the backfield, they still don't have a quarterback to help them out. So now they don't really have a solid running back, they don't really have a solid quarterback.
Right.
And for me, it's simple. When I'm playing Madden, you have to establish the run game to open up the passing game. If you're just going to pass the ball all the time, then you're going to get picked off. The defense is ready for it. But if you're going to run the ball, it's equal. You have to find a balance. If you're going to run the ball all the time, the defense is going to clog up the holes, put 7, 8 guys in the box, and they're going to stop the running game. So once you stop the running game, which might not even get really started in the first place, then you're going to have to force to throw the ball. And if you don't have a solid quarterback to throw the ball, then it's going to happen what happened in the scrimmage. They're not going to score anything. 60 plays, Christopher.
Yeah,
they didn't score a single point.
Same song, different verse for me. Who's going to play quarterback for this football team? Miles Brennan, I'm looking at you, buddy. You're a big-time prospect coming in last year. Southern boy, kind of guy that...
Oh, yeah, good old country boy.
Is, the kind of guy that you want at LSU playing quarterback, but he has limited experience. This is the biggest storyline in the spring. Yes, losing Geis and losing those studs on the defense and losing those wide receivers, those all sting. But this quarterback position, this is the storyline. Like you said, you need a quarterback. Who cares that they have all these great receivers? You need a quarterback. This has been happening since Les Miles. We thought Matt Canada last year was going to be the quarterback whisperer. Turned out not to be. Turns out he's looking for another job. So Miles Brennan, I think you're the man. You got to take the reins on this football team.
And it ticks me off. And and we're going to go into this segment. I'm madder than hell. Because I'm madder than hell that LSU has never been able to find a quarterback.
Yep.
And it's not even, they don't have to find the next Deshaun Watson. They don't have to look for that. They just need a competent quarterback, and they have never seemed to find that. They've always had stout receivers and generally have had really good running backs. But for some reason, they've just never seemed to find anybody who's competent in the pocket. And so I'm madder than hell that LSU has never been able to do that. And I think that comes in recruiting. And Chris, I know you got something that you want to get off your chest when it comes to recruiting.
Yeah, Brennan, you're right. I'm madder than hell at Ed Orgeron. This is to you. This is for you. This is going straight towards Ed Orgeron. Get your act together, man. This is your job. This is your state. These are your people. Get it together. Find a quarterback. Find an offensive coordinator that you can get along with. I'm madder than hell. I'm not even an LSU fan. Recruiting-wise, you're supposed to be a genius. Show me something. Georgia's built a fence around their state. They've been pulling in monster recruiting classes. You're messing around in the teens in the recruiting rankings with Washington, Oregon, South Carolina. Give me a break. This is your chance. You got boat race last year in recruiting. This is the year it all comes together for you on the recruiting path. It has to be. Sign 5-star guard Cardell Thomas. He's from Baton Rouge. Sign him. Dominate Baton Rouge.
He's in his backyard.
In your backyard. There are a ton of top prospects this year that are from Baton Rouge or from the immediate area. Embiid has some big-time prospects. Sign them. Sign Ray Parker at tackle. Win the state of Louisiana before you try and hit Florida and Houston. He's been spending way too much time in the Houston area for what? Nothing. Show me why you're considered one of the best recruiters in the country. If Georgia can do it, so can LSU. Tell Nick Saban this is your state. You're an LSU Tiger. Start acting like it.
And Chris, I agree with that because you know what? When he was at Southern Cal, everyone's like, he doesn't really fit here. He's not USC material. And I agree with that. He is Louisiana. He's the epitome of Louisiana.
If he can't recruit Louisiana, then who can?
I know. If you hear him talk, you hear him talking, his Cajun accent. He's a raging Cajun, man. And I also don't understand why he can't even do anything in LSU. I don't know if it's because he's insecure about it or if he's overconfident that he can just automatically get these guys because they're.
Or maybe what they're saying is true. He's not a head coach. I hate to say that. I hope it works out for him.
Dang.
This is your year, man. If you go 8-4, 7-5, and then you pull in another recruiting class that looks like this year's, you're done.
Yeah, that's pretty. But that's pretty harsh. What's his third year?
His third year, but he's doing worse than what Les Miles was doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
When is LSU gonna? That's what I'm wondering. Georgia's figured it out. They got rid of Mark Richt. Now they're competing for national championships.
Yeah.
When's LSU going to start pulling it together?
I feel like Georgia's an outlier, though. Don't you think?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Like, Kirby Smart. I think Kirby Smart's an outlier because he came in and all of a sudden, he was handed a phenomenal team. Mark Richt really handed everything.
And Ed Orgeron
Kirby Smart
wasn't. This is LSU, man. This is one of the easiest places. You don't have another team that is in your state that can pull the. Alabama recruits Louisiana almost as good, if not better, than LSU.
Yeah, but that's Alabama, though. That is Alabama. That's just Nick Saban.
A&M.
Nick Saban can walk.
Auburn, Florida.
Okay, all right. I think you're pushing the limit there. I think
this is a state that if you just keep kids at home, you find a quarterback, you're winning SEC championships, and they haven't been able to do that. 2011, you won the SEC championship. That was your closest chance to winning the national championship. You get absolutely dominated in the national championship by Alabama. Ever since then, LSU has been they're probably the third best program in the West. They should be contending for the first.
All right, and I know that hindsight's 2020, and I think that the one thing that Kirby Smart did that was a great coaching decision was get Jake Fromm. Because, really, the recruiting class, he got a solid recruiting class his first year there. I'll agree with that. It was solid. But so did Ed Orgeron. He got a solid recruiting class. But the one difference that Kirby Smart did in Georgia that Ed Orgeron did not was get a phenomenal quarterback. And what happened when Jacob Eason went down, he's got another one. He's got another phenomenal quarterback.
A better quarterback.
Jake Fromm. Yeah, a better quarterback than Jake Fromm. So I think that they were in a very similar place when they both came in. But I think that there was one key difference that they got, and that was getting a quarterback. So I think that Ed Orgeron, I think he's literally one player away from having a phenomenal team.
I agree, but we said the same thing about Les Miles. He's going to have to actually do it.
Yeah,
you can't be having all these 8-4 seasons, 9-3 seasons, and be waiting for the next year. This is his last chance.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, maybe we're wrong about Miles Brennan. Maybe we are. Maybe he's the one.
Well, we'll see. I think he has the shot, but they've always got great prospects coming in at quarterback, and they seem to do nothing with them.
Yeah, that's true.
I
know LSU's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting throughout the summer following this football team.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we're gonna wrap up here with some thoughts outside of the SEC, outside of LSU in the SEC. I read it in an article today talking about Damian Harris at Alabama, and he's gonna return for another year. And sometimes the thing is, when he has an opportunity to go to the NFL, people are like, oh, he's just not ready. He's not good enough to play in the NFL, and he's not confident enough to play in the NFL. And Damian Harris said, no, I'm good enough, but I really just, I'm talented enough. I could get drafted in this draft. Especially looking at the running backs in this draft. You got besides Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, and Darius Guice. Really, even Sony Michel. I really think that Damian Harris could really step up and be a steal in the draft. But he decided to wait another year, and his argument was, I just want to be a part of this program for another year, quote unquote, right there. Mm-hmm. And he said, he even said, and I quote, I could give you guys a lot of X's and O's for why I should leave or why I should stay, but at the end of the day, I felt very blessed to be part of this program for the last 3 years. And that was just, I think for me, it was an eye opener, and I think it was very mature for him. And you can only really go to college once, like get the full college experience. And this man, he has an opportunity to become a legend in Alabama, especially with all the running backs that have gone down in Alabama history. I think Damon Harris could really seal the deal here with his senior year. And I think that was a very mature decision.
I agree. I'll give you my closing thought now that I've calmed down a little bit. My closing thought. It has to do with Alabama, but with a little Tennessee twist to it. So Butch Jones, just the other day, was hired on at Alabama as an analyst, as one of those, kind of like what Dan Warner did last year as an offensive analyst. But when Nick Saban was introducing him, and Clay Travis got all over Butch Jones on this point, when Nick Saban was introducing Butch Jones, he said that he was going to be an analyst and an intern. An intern to Nick Saban. Butch Jones is going from head coach at one of the most, one of the proudest programs in the SEC to interning for Nick Saban. Y'all look up Clay Travis's take on it. It's hilarious. But
and I hate to kick a man while he's down, but I mean, what if I hope, because I would hate for a man to do this, but I think that he had to hit rock bottom before he could start building himself back up.
Yeah.
Don't you think? And also learning from Nick Saban. I think that Butch Jones.
I think if it was analyst, that's. But the fact that Nick Saban introduced him as an intern is just hilarious in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just keep the man humble. Maybe it's because I have no idea, but I mean, that's tough.
It might be
that's
Saban
tough.
kicking Tennessee while they're down.
Yeah, that's tough.
All right.
Well, that wraps it.
Yep.
This episode of Porch Talk, and Chris, really enjoyed talking to you. And I think that we're going to have a lot of fun with this. We got 13 other teams. If we decide to even do Missouri,
yeah,
maybe.
I don't know if Missouri deserves to have a SEC. Talk about Maryland Hill. I'm going to be mad the entire time that I have to be talking about Missouri.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about this. Chris, love talking to you.
Yeah, man.
And fans, if you have some strong opinions about LSU, as strong as Chris and I had today, then leave your comments in the comment section and let us know what you thought. Till next time.